to my Geminis. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading, Geminis. Let's get right into it. The Lionsgate portal is open, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. You can go watch the Lionsgate's portal video. It's actually the thumbnail just says Lionsgate's portal. So it'll be open until the 12th of August. It actually opened on July 26th. And so it kind of breaks down what that means in there, so I don't have to repeat it in this video here. If you're watching this video on the 31st of July, this video is going to be dated for the 31st of July slash the 1st of August until the 8th of August, which is Lionsgate portal peak slash 9th of August, which is full moon. Full sturgeon moon. So it'll be a lot going on in August. So you want to make sure you kind of sort of slow down and start thinking about, okay, what do you want to manifest in August? What do you want to manifest in August? This is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. Yep. So you want to keep your vibrations as high as you possibly can. Because things can happen like really, really quickly. We have 5 planets that are currently retrograde right now since Chiron went retrograde on the 31st. So please pull your birth chart. Let's go. It is time to flourish. I love it. Time to flourish. Time to flourish. I love it. So things are happening quickly. Things are happening quickly. You may be getting quicker communication right now, even though Mercury is retrograde in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo actually rules 5th house. And so people are becoming more confident and generous, right? So you want to take advantage of that in a very healthy way. And so it's time for you to flourish, right? So get rid of the negativity. If there's any energies around you, and so I'm going to channel messages and just let you know what's happening to give you an opportunity to purge all of that. So I'm just channeling messages in my reading. So if you have an opportunity to purge that, so I'm just sharing with you what I'm picking up on. Recall your energy. Recall your energy. So, and if you want to send out prayers to people who could be going through some things, that's a part of the collective community, please send out prayers. There could be an Aquarius that's going through something, possibly that you're connected to in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You could have Aquarius in your birth chart. Aquarius rules the 11th house, and it could be a part of your 11th house. That could be a part of your friendship group. It could be a part of your family, somehow you're connected to in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But whoever it is could be going through a transition, right? Or it could be like you could have something in common with somebody who's going through a transition where people are being shady behind people's backs, right? Somehow there's a connection there. You're making some kind of a connection where someone who is innovative, independent, someone who's a visionary, and people are being shady, where somebody's going through, you see this person who's on a boat and there's an ancestor that's behind someone. This is an ancestor, and people are making like shady comments behind someone's back as they're going through a transition. Like, like somebody is sailing onto calmer waters and people are, and this could be someone who has relocated or transitioned or moved on from maybe family members or something like that. And people could be holding on to something they're saying. So the number 6 looks like a rounded back with a bulging belly. So it could be, and 6 is a very maternal number. So something could have been building up over time where someone somebody may not have felt safe. You see all of these swords here. Sword, something cuts deep. Sword energy cuts really, really deep. So someone may be cutting ties, with feeling judged. So you're learning how to rise above judgment of like what people say, or you have already learned how to rise above judgment of like breaking some kind of generational cycle, chain, and curse. So the energy that I'm kind of sort of picking up from you and what you have in common is like being a mentor. Something about your energy, learning how to adapt. Geminis, high vibrating Geminis are highly adaptable, witty, very curious, loves to learn, right? You'll actually rule 3rd house. 3rd house is the house of communication, right? Just how you communicate, like in a very witty, funny kind of way, maybe kind of like a jokester a bit. And could be sort of like these two X's right here, like could have like X's over your eyes, almost like kind of like maybe blinded by, see these little bats hanging upside down, spiritually almost blinded by, how you joke, not even really being like aware of what people are saying about you behind your back, like people saying shady comments about you behind your back. You could just be kind of like, how something is received. Virgos rule sixth house, and so Virgos are their card is the Hermit card, right? So you could be a person that's really a hermit. You could be a person where a light turns on for you once you get inside and really process your emotions. Like you could be kind of a jokester kind of a person, and that could be a kind of a way that you communicate, right? But a light may not turn on for you until you get to your destination. That you were just kind of joking, and people could be holding on to stuff. Right. Here's the Ace of Wands. Here, this is what I'm talking about. The light turns on. A light could turn on for you, right? Ace of Wands lets me know that somebody could have, but you're learning how to rise above the judge. You're learning how to adapt, right? So somebody else could be learning how to adapt to certain things, right? Ace of Wands here is like you could have a new project happening here. You could also have a new love coming across your path. Something new is coming across your path, like new ideas or something, but you're learning how to rise above the judgment, right? Of something. But some kind of new inspiration is happening here. You're newly inspired to take some kind of action, to kind of sort of take good memories with you as you move on from like going from cycle to cycle to cycle in your life. When life cycles end, you're learning how to kind of sort of reset, right? The call back your energy, all of it. You're learning how to call back your energy, rise above judgment, not judge anybody else by how they move on. Call back your energy. Something with this, we talk about Six of Cups, connects us with Scorpio. We're not talking about a Scorpio. You're learning how to go from 8th house to 9th house. Whatever your sign is in 8th house, you're learning how to recall your energy and go on to 9th house. Create something, like create something new, right? So when something ends, whether it's a friendship, a job, well, I'm just going to say your personal, your professional life, you're no harm to anyone. You don't wish any harm on anyone. You just move on in love and you just move on, right? Right? There's a death card here, right? So, okay, so it looks like this, you are learning how to rise above judgment. So this is right here is like the end of some kind of judgment here. If you see these two right here, it's like the end of judgment. If you can see this here. So this is a really positive thing. This is why it's time to flourish, because it's the end of you judging others, which is very positive. Yeah, so if you all could see like whatever kind of platform you all are on, is how many, if it's a large platform, how it's mentoring people to be able to close out cycles in love, and how powerful that is, and how many people are inspired by how when you move on without judging other people, and just really being no respecter of person. This is what you have in common with people, and how people are moved by. It just gives other people ideas of how you're able to, and this is why when we talk about like high vibrational Geminis, how you connect very well with other air signs, very, very well with other air signs, because when things are over, this is what you have in common with other air signs. When you move on and you learn how to adapt, you immediately make a connection. Somebody's like, okay, I'm just taking good memories with me. This is how you connect. You're like, I'm just taking the good memories with me. Like somebody has this childlike faith. See this little kid here? He has this childlike faith. It's like, okay, I'm taking, this kid here is like, okay, you may be an adult, but it's like, okay, I'm taking this ice cream cup with me. I'm taking something, refreshments with me. Like you taking the memories with you, right? So, like for instance, Where's the card here? Like when it comes to like spirituality or religion or whatever, right? So a child may take fun memories of them. Let's say you have fun memories in church or mosque or temple when you were little. Let's say you may take fun memories of you when you're little, from an experience in church or mosque or temple. When you leave, and you may say, I mean, you didn't have any issues with people. You just left. You moved on, and people being shady, thinking that you left me under, you judging people and all of that other stuff. You like, no, I felt refreshed. I got what I need to get. Thank you. And you moved on. You sailed on the calmer waters. You felt like you were poured into, like, like kids, they get, like your inner child was fed, just kind of reminded you of some things. And you see this growth right here. That's how some people feel, like their spirit was fed. You came somewhere for a reason, like your spirit was fed, right? You have all these ideas, but other people could have other ideas, right? And it's like your inner child could feel like, okay, your inner child was fed. Other people could have other ideas that they could be holding on to as to, remember, Scorpio is the death card, right? Is the death card, right? And so somebody could have some inverted ideas, like these bats, right? And you could be blind, spiritually blind as a bat, for real. I'm not saying that to even be joking, but somebody could literally be blind as a bat, like thinking, okay, this person is just, and being negative and sarcastic and can't flip a switch, whereas a Gemini could be like, that may not be that at all, so somebody is learning how to just move on from something, right? Here's the Three of Pentacles here, and I'm seeing you in a leadership position because of this. I'm seeing you in a leadership position because of this, because you're able to just adapt. You're just able to adapt. And I feel like, looking here, you're able to purge whatever belief system you have, like people judging you as to why something has ended, and you just move on. Because I feel like, looking at your cards here, some of you all have made such an impact on people's lives, just by just a smile. Like some people have, met Geminis and just always like just remember a smile, or like something that a Gemini may have said to a person, like stay focused. That could be, let me see. Yeah, those could just be two words that stuck. That could have just given people ideas right there. Boom. Somebody could have said, okay, that's what they need. That could have lit a fire up under somebody. Right? Dame of Pentacles. So that's what I'm saying here. So it's time for you to flourish. Time for you to flourish. Yeah. Right? So something is coming straight to your door. Something is coming to your door. So it's just saying to you, it's time to leave cold-spirited people outside of because they contaminate your spirit as a high-vibrating Gemini. Time to leave cold-spirited people outside of just kind of outside of your life, right? Because somebody would have walked away from something a long time ago. Like, Source is separating you from energies that contaminate your spirit, your experiences with people. Because it includes you in on foolishness that you were never meant to be included in on. So I feel like something about your spirit stands out. Yeah, you're closing out something. You're closing out something. It's something about your spirit stands out. Like, somebody could have met you for the first time and said something about you just stands. It's like your light stands out. Your light. Something about your light really shines on people's demons. Whenever people see the Seven of Cups, you usually see like a snake slithering away. So it could be your smile, it could be things that you say about people, but it's something about people who are really chosen, who know that they're chosen, right? It doesn't matter if you're the oldest, middle child, last to the whoever. It don't really matter. Something about a level of confidence. See the sun right here? The sun shining on somebody. It's like somebody has some kind of confidence in them. That they'll leave when they feel like, okay, they're not going to stay somewhere where they don't feel like they're appreciated. Or they just feel like they're just being tolerated. When they're on a job, they'll say, okay, yeah, it's time to move on. You know, I feel like I've grown enough here. It's time to just kind of sort of move on. All right, pour it into, just move on, right? Not judging anybody, just moving on. So you're seeing something from a higher frequency. Seeing something from a higher frequency. Yeah, just discipline, right? You've gained a lot of wisdom here. Somebody has gained a lot of wisdom wherever you are. And yeah, about just dark, like people who practice. There's a difference between knowing how to recognize dark witchcraft and people who practice it. When you recognize when people are knowledgeable and they're teaching people, this is what to look for. This is enlightening people. This is what to look for. So you'll know when you're in the presence of people who are practicing it on you, right? This is we're talking about duality, right? Somebody who stands out and they're teaching you. This is what you need to look out for, right? What you need to look out for. Something about you stands out. But what stands out, right? Something about you stands out, right? You don't fit in. Something about you stands out, right? You need to pay attention to that. It's like telling your kids, okay, let me pray over you. Let me protect you because you stand out. Something about you stands out. It's different from the rest. It stands out. Let me pray over you because the polarity to 7 would be 4. Like the 7th house is Libra, right? So you need to know who your open enemies are. You know how like parents will say, like when their kids' friends come over, that's not really your friend. They're not being negative. They see something on you that you don't see, right? They'll say, okay, that person that you bringing over, that's not your friend. Or those are not your friends. You hanging out with these people and you standing out. You different. And you're like, well, you say that about everybody. And they're saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pray for that child because that child, they don't see. And your parents could be like, that. My poor baby, they blind as a bat. They're not trying to be funny and they're not trying to be mean. But they said, let me just go ahead and pray for my child because they don't see it. They don't see it. They're not judging you. They're not being mean. They're just saying they don't see it. So you're learning how to move on from past disappointments. Here's the 8 of Pentacles here. So I see somebody mastering something. I see someone mastering something. You're learning how to move on. Something about you standing out. I mean, something about you stands out. It could be your smile. There's somebody, and people who are really secure with themselves really just don't mind complimenting people. They're not flirting with you. They'll say like, oh, you have really pretty teeth, or like you're really attractive, or you're whatever. And they're not even flirting with you. They're just pointing out the same thing that other people see, but they won't say it. They won't say it. Or like, oh, they really, this person's really smart. The same thing other people see. The exact same thing. Here's the 7 of Swords here. So, somebody is learning that people who are behind closed doors are not always depressed. Like, just because people are talking about them behind their back. Some people are actually really thriving behind closed doors. They ain't depressed at all. They like, okay, they know who's talking about them behind closed doors. They sit around the same people, listening to the same people talking about other people behind closed doors. So you're feeling very fortunate. Yeah. A lot of people have the same kind of stuff and it going on in their family. So you got, I'm telling you, this is your year. Somebody's about to, when I say flourish, that's an understatement. That is an understatement. The old you of judging other people and being under other people's judgment is over. You about to thrive. And I'm talking about really what to step into something that you're about to master. Just because you have already spoken something into existence, and you're going to be so grateful that you walked away from something because you already stand out. You already stand out. You're just going through a transition right now, whoever you are. Somebody is feeling refreshed and renewed. You've already cut ties with some energies. You already have some ideas of things moving forward. You've already closed the doors into some cold-hearted energies. You're following your heart, closing out the cycle in love. Somebody's ex wants to return. That's not going to happen. Here we are. Somebody's amongst incubi and succubi. The new one is extra special. Okay. Back straight, you walking away. It's not as deep as you think it is. Somebody apologizes for betraying you. You trust in your first mind. You're protected by angels. Adjust your crown. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Open your vault door. Yeah, don't cast your pearls before swine. Here we have wealth is within your reach. Yeah, somebody just envies you. Whoever this is, you ain't even worried about that. Like I said, wheel of the year. You are very, very fortunate, whoever you are. So this is, I love this reading for you all, whoever you are. Yeah, somebody's ex wants to read. I don't know if it's an ex-friend, I don't know who it is, ex whoever. But you're closing your door to drama. That's what I'm seeing for your cards here. And I will see you all in the next video. All right, bye.